Welcome to session 24, everyone. Today I'm really excited to have a special guest today. It's Canada's top male ultramarathoner, Adam Campbell. But before that, I've got a quick quote for this session. What works for you is what you have to insist on. That was a quote by Michael Jordan when he talked to Tiger Woods when Tiger Woods went into, he was 18, 19 years old. So that was a great quote, I thought. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Now, before I call in Adam, there's some information I wanted on his accomplishments, especially this last year. First of all, Adam is the Canadian 50-mile record holder. Number two, back in, I believe, February, in Japan, Mount Fuji, they ran their very first ultramarathon, and out of the 800 plus runners, Adam came in second place, outstanding. And then he did Chuckanut 50K, came in first, that was in March, and then he's the world record holder for the Suit Marathon, that's S-U-I-T Marathon. And he did it in a time of 2 hours, 35 minutes, and 53 seconds. And actually, I believe it's only 6 minutes from his PB. So that's outstanding. He had a suit on. Now, I'll call in Adam, and we'll ask him a few questions. And Adam,
hey,
thank you for sharing your time with us.
No problem, Mike. Look forward to this. Yeah,
oh, great. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get right into it. So I'll ask you a few questions here.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, first question, how did you discover your passion for trail running?
Oh, I mean, I've always loved running in the trails. I started sport. I guess my first endurance sport was cross country skiing.
Oh, okay.
And so you spend a lot of time out in Ontario, and you spend a lot of time in the woods doing that. And we did quite a lot of trail running. I started cross country running at that time, and where I lived, we had beautiful trails out in Port Hope, Ontario.
Okay.
And then from there, I made the national triathlon, or the national development triathlon team. I moved out to Victoria, and you move out here, you start running on the trails, and
yes.
I just discovered I just love the trails. Spent more and more time out in them, and whenever I could, I'd get out and enjoy the soft surfaces and just the beautiful surroundings. And in about 2006, I transitioned fully into being a trail runner, mountain runner, and stopped doing the triathlon. And it's been, I love my time doing triathlon, but this is, I definitely found my passion when I did that. So.
Did you? That's cool. Okay, now what does it mean to you to be a trail runner, and why is it so important?
What does it mean to be a trail runner? That's a tough question. It means something different every time I run, but mostly it's sort of the way that I like to appreciate natural spaces, being able to move fast and light through beautiful terrain.
Yes.
I appreciate it in that way. I don't know, I like to express myself through motion. I mean, that sort of type of person I am. I think better when I'm moving. I'm just generally happier when I'm in motion. And so for me, that's how I like to appreciate these natural spaces.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, now what is the single most important thing you've learned about trail running?
I guess hills.
Yeah.
If from the racing perspective, if you
Yes.
want to have success at racing,
Yes.
to me, it's all about strength and endurance. That's what trail running comes down to.
Yes.
And specificity. I mean, if you want to race on trails, you have to get out on trails and train on trails.
Yes.
You can't compare, running times to road running times to trail times. There's been a lot of really fast marathoners who've tried to come out and compete, especially at ultra running.
Yes.
It seems like the longer the race, the less and less important your road speed is. It still is a huge factor. You want to be fast, but you have to spend time on trails in order to improve on trails. And if you look at what all the top ultra runners do, the Kilian Jornets, the Anton Krupickas, the Jeff Rose, Dakota Jones, Miguel Heras, all those guys, Mike Wolf, they all get out and train on hilly terrain as much as possible. So I never, ever look at mileage for runs. I look at time and I look at elevation.
Elevation, yeah. Cool. Okay. Now, what advice would you give someone who is thinking about trail running?
Oh, just do it.
Just do it, eh?
Yeah.
Just do it, okay.
Yeah, it's about as easy as that.
Okay.
I mean, especially if you live in Canada, we've got so much beautiful natural terrain.
Yeah.
To me, it's the best way to explore your own backyard.
Yes.
You know, if you're not comfortable with it, you know, there's lots of groups and people who go out and do trail running. So meet up, you know, go and meet up with them, get them to show you some of the terrain, but also use it as a chance to explore. I mean, some of my favorite runs have been runs where I just sort of go and get lost for a little bit, and
sure.
you know, be smart about it. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
You know,
sure.
people do get in trouble as well, but you know, just use it as a chance to explore. And I have a sort of a general theory: if you can hike a trail, you can run it.
You can run it.
Yeah,
cool.
so there you go.
Okay. Now, anything in that as you've been entered the trail field, what has been a sort of a waste of time in your training, or anything that you wish? Oh, I wish I didn't do that for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, I think, you know, experience and making mistakes is all part of a process of growing. So there's, you know, I don't really have too many regrets or things that are a waste of time. I mean, for me, I think for a lot of people, you know, getting on the track and doing track work isn't directly relevant to trail racing. You know, you can, I'm all about doing intervals and tempo runs and speed work, but why not do them on the trails?
Yes.
I see a benefit in doing something on the track if, you know, you're trying to work on run form and you have a coach watching that.
Yes. Yes.
So I could see a purpose there, but you know, going and doing 400-meter repeats and stuff like that, it doesn't translate directly to what you're doing on the trails. But at the same time, if it's something you enjoy doing, and it gets you out motivated to run, it gets you training a little bit harder, and that's where your group meets, and that's you go and meet up with all your friends as part of your social life, then go do it. I mean, why not?
Sure.
There's no real wasted time there. Other things that apart from that, I don't really have too many things I'd say, you know, waste of time.
Okay, good. Okay, now what were the biggest problems for you to become a good trail runner?
I think like a lot of people initially, you know, figuring out proper race nutrition, that was a bit of an issue, and then just, you know, the mental transition from, you know, letting go of pace times and structured training plans and all that. I mean, for me, my trail running improved a lot when I stopped following a really strictly structured plan. You know, I was much more careful to listen to my body. I'm lucky. I mean, I've got, you know, 15 years of endurance sports at a pretty high level behind me.
Yes.
So I've got a pretty good understanding of what you have to do already. And I've had some amazing mentors over the years, you know, like John Brown, you know, Simon Whitfield, and people like that. People at the top of their game in endurance sport, and I've been able to learn from them. So I've taken those lessons. So I've had a lot of coaches over the years, and I learned from them. But now I'm at a place where I can listen to my body and take the lessons that they've given me and apply those in a more intuitive way. And you know, like I train bloody hard.
Yes, sure,
I love training hard. And so that's always the key part of it. But yeah, that would be you know, the one thing that I would say is, and I also release a lot of anxiety because of that. You know, when I show up at races, my training something, I get a lot of pleasure from it, a lot of joy from it.
Yes.
So I never look at it as work. You know, like some people say, you know, I make a lot of sacrifices for my running, but I don't. Like I make choices that allow me to do what I do.
You're playing, you're playing out there.
And you know, it empowers me to see it that way, and so I try to take something away from everything I do, every run I do, whether it's, you know, a 15-minute easy jog because I was too tired to do more, or whether it was a 3 or 4 or 5 hour run. You know.
Wow.
So,
Cool. Okay. Now, what is it? Or I guess we sort of said that. What does it take to be a great trail runner? And they sort of basically covered that.
Yeah, you know, I would say probably the single biggest thing though is just consistency year in, year out.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's not one key workout that I do. It's the cumulative effect of all the workouts throughout the year and over the past like several years that you do. And then the other thing that's been important is just, you know, my outlook during races.
Yes.
Things are gonna go wrong, especially in an ultra.
Yes.
They're gonna go wrong. You have to accept that. And it's how you handle those low parts of the race. You know, like when your fueling's a bit low, and when you're asked. I don't think I've ever done a race where I haven't asked myself at some point, what the hell am I doing here? This is so hard. I want to stop. And you have to have the answers for those moments.
Yes.
And spend as little time as possible in those lulls. And whoever can spend the least amount of time and lose the least amount of, you know, speed during those low points in the race, generally means you're gonna have a better day overall.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Now, why do you think? Well, you mentioned that about nutrition was important. Now, I'm going to ask you a few fun questions.
All right,
Take
fun
your time.
questions.
Okay,
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Now, if you could have any one superpower, what would it be?
Superpower. Oh, I mean, I'd love to fly. Yeah.
Okay.
Who wouldn't
Okay.
love to be able to fly? You know, save time at airports, and it'd just be amazing. You know, and I could scout out new trails that way as well. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what famous person would you like to share a hospital room with for a week, and why?
Hospital room with for a week. Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, because he's a doctor and he's obviously a funny guy, and laughter is the best medicine, right?
All right. It's
So there
right.
you go. Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception. Well, but I don't like to relax. But I don't like to like sit still. You know, like I think what a lot of people don't necessarily understand about me is that, you know, as I say, like I'm happiest when I'm in motion, and that's when my body, like, a lot of times moving is actually my way of relaxing. You know, so going for an easy run is very relaxing for me, and it's better for me to do that than it is for me to sit on the couch sometimes. But at the same time, I also know when I need to take a break, and if my body's telling me rest, I'm okay with it, and because I know I train hard the rest of the time, I'm okay with taking breaks when I have to. Like right now, I've decided I was gonna keep training for the next couple of weeks, and then the last couple of days I was like, I just really don't feel like it, so I'm taking a 2-week break from running, and do that in order to be rested and ready to go for next year.
So you have other interests too.
I have lots of energy.
Yeah.
I love any outdoor sport. You know, like so. You know, like I like slacklining. I like climbing. I like skiing. I like cycling. I love reading. I'm a huge voracious
that's
reader.
Important. Wow.
So that's how I sit down and read, and I like writing as well. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. And now, what do you want written on your tombstone, or how would you like to be remembered?
How do I like to be remembered? Oh, I think you know, just lived a passionate life with integrity.
With integrity.
That'd be
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Oh, nice,
So,
nice. Okay. Now,
Also proud Canadian.
proud Canadian.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what are your words to live by?
Words to live by. Oh, you know, probably the same thing I want on my tombstone. You know, live life with passion and integrity.
Okay. And what do you know for sure?
I bet I'll have a tombstone.
Okay. And now, any final thoughts, advice for trail runners out there?
Final thoughts. You know, we've got. I think that we have an amazing opportunity to explore natural spaces, but at the same time, I think that I also think we have a responsibility to introduce other people to these wild spaces that we get to train in, and to me, there's a huge, profound effect on people.
Yes.
You introduce them to these beautiful natural spaces, and I think that when you spend time in those kinds of environments, your appreciation for them grows, and then your desire to help protect them grows as well. And I think that we all have a responsibility as sort of outdoor athletes,
Yes.
to protect the environment and to take environmental causes, because it's something that we enjoy recreating in. So
Yes.
I think we all have a duty to take people out and show them wild spaces and try to reconnect people with nature.
Good, that's great. Well, thanks so much. Now, I know you've got a lot of support and help, and could you sort of mention a few of your sponsors, or what's help you along?
Yeah, of
or
course.
helping you along right now?
No, I've been lucky. It's a great time in sport, and I've been lucky to have some very good support. So Arc'teryx is my main sponsor.
Yes.
For apparel, and then Solomon shoes,
Mm-hmm.
Petzl headlamps, Sunto watches,
Mm-hmm.
Cliff Bar products.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flora Health, so like Udo's oil and products like that, which are great for recovery.
Yes.
And then 7 Systems,
Yes.
and Powered by Chocolate Milk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, no, I've been lucky. I've had and Injinji socks.
Injinji
There's another one, but I actually just shot a commercial with them over the weekend. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I've
Yeah.
had some great support.
Now, quickly, could you tell us sort of what's on the horizon for the new year? Races?
For 2013, yeah, we've got a really exciting schedule coming up. Try to set some Canadian trail records. It should be fun.
Yeah.
I'll be doing some of the sky running races.
Mm-hmm.
In February, I'm going to do a stage race between Argentina and Chile.
Wow.
Which will be pretty fun. A 3-day race, and I'm in the lottery for Hard Rock and Western States.
Good.
So
good
yeah,
luck.
we'll see.
Good
Hopefully
luck.
those work out. Yeah, find out
Good.
in the next couple of weeks about those. So
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Adam.
cheers, man.
That's
Yeah.
great. Thanks
Yeah,
for sharing your
my
time and
pleasure,
insights and everything.
Yeah, and best of luck to you in the season, and best of luck
Yeah.
to all your athletes as
Yeah.
well, and always
Thank
happy to answer questions if anybody has any. So.
Okay, good. And yes, and everyone, as always, post any questions or comments and go on my website, www.thetrailguide.com. And until next week, have a fantastic week, have a Merry Christmas, and until next time.
Yeah,
The Trail Guy here.
Yeah, happy trails.
Okay, happy trails.
Right on.
Okay, I think we got it.